Imagine a factory worker in the 1990s, calmly working and doing his job. But suddenly his boss comes in with a machine in his hand and tells him that this machine will now assist him with his tasks. He is happy, but at the same time, he is also doubtful if that machine will take over his job. Fast forward to 2025. Now we have a software which can read, write, and decide. This software is like an invisible hand helping us with all the tasks. This software is nothing but AI. And again, there are workers who are scared if this machine will take over their jobs or will just help them with it. Or will our country move forward with the help of this machine, or will it just end up destroying the creativity that we already have? I am Shruti Singh, and today in this video, let's talk about that. Before talking about what AI can do, it is important for us to know what AI is. Think of AI as an apprentice, which started as a chalkboard student following hardcore rules, then became a lab intern following statistical models, and now is an experienced intern after watching millions of examples or deep learning. AI is a software that learns patterns and makes decisions based on those patterns. These decisions earlier used to require humans, but now is taken over by software. We can see AI being used in recommendation engines like Netflix or YouTube, or in chatbots on different websites, and even in medical screening tools. In short, now we see AI everywhere. But where did the idea come from? In 1956, at a meeting in Dartmouth, Alan Turing asked a simple question: can machines think? And when the answer in return was no, he launched a team of researchers to make them think and coined the term artificial intelligence. But in the 1970s and 80s, this team of researchers went through something called AI winter, which basically meant that the progress was slow, which it would of course be because computers then were way less powerful than they are now. But 2000s onwards, the boom happened for AI. Massive amount of data was available at a way cheaper compute. The deep learning breakthrough around AlexNet in the year 2012 made machines very good at vision and later at language. And that is the engine behind modern AI. But during this entire boom, when did AI exactly come to India? AI was being used in India for academics and research since the 1980s and 90s. Universities like IITs and IISc and even research groups as ISRO and DRDO worked with AI and machine learning concepts in narrow research labs and defense and space content. Indian IT and analytics adopted the tool around the 2000s, offering data and predictive services to global clients. Firms like Fractal and Mu Sigma helped bring large-scale analytics to the industry. But the concept got an official push when the Indian government got involved. In the year 2018, Indian government's think tank Niti Aayog published a national strategy on artificial intelligence, AI for all. They started public programs and responsible AI guidelines, which gave the ecosystem a formal policy backbone. Suddenly, around the 2020s, there was an explosion of AI startups, be it in health tech, fintech, or deep tech. And with that, Gen AI is now ruling India. Now that we know that AI didn't arrive on one random day in India, it actually took years for it to actually come to the country. Let's talk about where AI will take India in the future. Well, like every good thing, there can be three scenarios. First would be the optimistic one, where AI increases productivity across agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Personalized learning reduces education gap. AI health tools gives rural clients better screening, and Indian AI firms become global exporters of niche solutions. The next scenario would be a little mixed, where big cities and large firms adapt AI rapidly, but smaller towns lag due to data, bandwidth, and training gap. This would mean that certain white-collar jobs like documentation, basic legal work, shrink, but at the same time, newer roles require continual learning. And the third scenario would be a little worry, where rapid adoption without strong regulations leads to biased decision making like loan denials or surveillance misidentifying people, and even misinformation getting spread on a scale like deepfakes or fake calls, and even job loss in sectors which don't upskill fast enough. Out of the three paths, the trajectory that we take solely depends on the kind of policies we adopt, corporate responsibilities, and public trust. But so far, which path are we taking? Let's discuss that with a boon and a bane list. Boon: healthcare access and early detection. For example, Nirmai's AI thermal breast screening, which is non-invasive and useful in low resources settings. Boon: overdependence and brittle system. For example, a hospital that relies on AI detector which fails silently, as a result of which a lot of patients can suffer. Boon: financial inclusion and fraud detection. For example, AI scoring small loans or detecting fraudulent transactions in the bank. Bane: bias and fairness. For example, an automated loan rejection which disproportionately affects a small group. Boon: editing and content creation. AI can come in very handy for content creators as it turns an X number of hours job into X number of minutes. Bane: misinformation and deepfake. Generative AI can make convincing fake audios or videos which can harm personal reputations and even elections. Boon: efficiency in government services and jobs. For example, AI helping with research or smart city traffic optimization or automated form processing and even better disaster responses. Bane: job disruption. For example, call center operators being replaced by chatbots. The operator may be out of service until reskilled. Even through this boon and bane list, one thing is very clear. AI will only take us in a particular direction depending on how people take it. But some people from India have really taken it well. They have built and grown companies because of AI. Let me tell you about it. First on the list comes Pooch AI, which is a voice-first assistant on WhatsApp focused on Indic languages and aims to be the first gateway to AI for many Indians who do not know English or do not want to interact in English or do not know AI as such. Next on the list comes Fractal Analytics, which provides AI analytics and consulting to big companies in the world. Another example would be Truebill, a used car marketplace which uses AI to estimate prices. There are so many other companies in India who are continuously using AI to build and grow. If you are using AI in today's world, then remember to use it right, because you will decide which path we take as a country and which trajectory do we proceed in. I hope that you're using it the right way. And another right thing to do would be to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. I keep on bringing science, tech, AI, India to you on a daily basis through my shorts. So don't forget to check them out as well. Until the very next time, have a good day, have a good life. Bye-bye.